I'm not saying that if you don't have money, then you're a weak person or whatever.
Of course not. Yeah.
I don't have that much money myself. I'm just
Everyone
starting up
starts
20
at
years of
somewhere,
age.
yeah.
For 20 years of age, you know, it's good. I'm just starting up. I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I will be doing good later on. I'm sure of that. That's what you have to be. You have to be sure that you're doing good and you're on the right path, right? So, for example, for a guy who's in his 20s or his, you know, he's in late teens, I would say 18, 19, he can make a lot of money here. He has a lot of opportunities
For
here.
sure.
It's not-
Opportunities,
so many
sure.
opportunities here compared to what we had in Iran when we
Of
were living
course,
there.
yeah.
You have basically no opportunities
It's
there.
a dead end there,
It's a
honestly.
dead end. That's
Yeah.
why you know, Persian parents or third world country parents, they force you into going to
School.
university and studying.
Yeah.
So that when you go to college, you get a degree, and then that degree helps you get a job. And obviously, the sweet spot of making money from your degree is being into medical professions,
Oh,
right?
that's what they all like,
so exactly. So
Now that you bring up the topic of making money,
yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you, because I know that at the same time as you're, dealing with, you just got your dealership license, you're dealing with all the dealership stuff. At the same time, you're also running a construction business in the back.
Right.
You're doing all these different ventures in business and actually the entrepreneurial routes. At the same time, you're studying at. So I wanted to ask you, what's your genuine take on education as a whole? And, this idea that everyone has to go to school, everyone has to go to university or college, get a degree. That's the way to become successful. What's your genuine take on that? And I also want to know, why are you doing both of them at the exact same time?
Right.
As opposed to, choosing one specific path and going with that?
Well, I would say for me personally, it's a whole different and complicated situation, because when you have parents from the Middle East and especially Iran, they love for you to become a doctor, educated person. That's because that's how you can make money in Iran. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of builders and there are a lot of people making money from business ventures, this and that. But in general, you don't have the same opportunities that you have in a first world country, especially Canada, which is one of the greatest ones, I would say so. US is the first in my opinion, but after that probably Australia and Canada. So
for sure.
So you have those you have these countries. First of all, you have English. Your primary language is in English, which is what 50% of the world I think speaks
almost
now.
50%,
Not native, but almost 50% of the world speak English. So
automatically
have a
huge marketplace,
exactly. So you don't have to go learn English, and for example, if you're living in Sweden, Swedish, right? So you don't have to do that, and you have opportunities here, but there's the taxman that comes in. There's the taxman, Trudeau that comes in and takes all of your money, but not all of it. You can play around.
You don't like the tax.
So that's why, for example, to answer your question, education and business, if you're going in the education route and you're starting up something, for example, if you're being a lawyer, then if you have your own law firm, that's also a business that you're starting.
That's
you
true,
can manage your expenses, pay less taxes and all that. Same with everything when you're starting a business yourself, right? So but if you are working for a company and you're getting a paycheck, a pay stub,
that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story. You can't do anything because your taxes are being deducted automatically, and then the tax-free amount is getting transferred to your bank account.
Exactly.
So you're not.
So you think that the education route is fine, but after you're done with that, you should enter the entrepreneur route and try to use your education for yourself.
Exactly.
As opposed to give it all away to another company.
It's the same concept as if somebody knows how to operate a business and becomes the CEO of another company, then rather than being the president of their own company and starting it and managing that, which makes sense if you're starting out. You want to. Well, the CEOs, they're not starting out. They obviously have a lot of experience. So that's what I'm saying. You could start your own business if you have the capital, then do that. But there's the risk management issue involved too, right? So
of course. If you take the entrepreneur route,
exactly.
There's a lot
So
more
you're putting a lot of money in. You're putting a lot of risk, stress, all that. But if you're some people prefer to get paid. They just want to
live easy.
Exactly.
They want to be in peace.
Yeah.
They want the safety net and everything, which makes sense. And another thing I also want to point out, obviously there's nothing wrong with working or getting a college degree and getting a job.
Right.
And you can always do that alongside working on your own ventures and trying to expand your financials and your businesses and just become a better person as a whole. So just because you're working, that doesn't cross out all the other paths as well. So you
No,
can
it
do
doesn't.
both at the same time, or even save up money and pour it up to the right venture. And you can just take your own path. It's different for everyone. And you can mix and match both. Have your safety net, and that is probably the best option for most people. Have your safety net and mix it up with your own entrepreneurial routes.
For sure, yeah.